Welcome to the Paranormal Project radio show. Journey with us through mystical realms to a world of the unexplained. If you're ready, take a deep breath and let curiosity be your guide. And now, here are your hosts, spirit medium Scott Allan and Khristina Bowen, the Green Witch of Tennessee.
Hello and welcome back to the Paranormal Project. Thank you for watching tonight. I'm here with my lovely co-host, Khristina Bowen. And I love your shirt, by the way. It's very Halloween-y, as you said.
Halloween-y. Yeah. I thought I'd break out, October, so I got to represent.
There you go. It's never a dull moment here at the Paranormal Project. It's a surprise from 1 minute to the next. I have to tell you that our guest, Jill Shelley, who was going to be here tonight, is not feeling well. She's with the Boyd House. She has the haunted house, and I was all excited to talk to her about her home, but she is going to come back on. We're going to talk to her about coming back to the show at the beginning of the year. Believe it or not, we have guests booked up right through the end of January. We've got so many great people coming on. But we're going to have a different show tonight because we have to, and we have to punt, and that's how it is, and that's why I'm so glad I don't do the show alone, because otherwise y'all will be sitting listening to me talk. See, what are you doing to me? I just said y'all. I said y'all. I don't ever say y'all.
Well, get used to it, Scott. I am in East Tennessee,
I know you are, but you have
There's
all your teeth.
There's a whole lot of y'alls.
Yeah. No, you have all your teeth, so I keep forgetting. I don't recognize that one.
No, that's Virginia. That's Virginia.
Oh, there you go.
I'm going to get in trouble for that one.
You might. So listen, I thought it would be really interesting tonight. I have been doing readings like nobody's business. I don't know. Maybe it's October. I don't know. But I'm exhausted. I've been sitting here doing readings all day. And, at the end of the day, my energy kind of wanes. Robert Marshall says West Virginia. There you go. Virginia. Probably not Virginia. There it is. That's true.
That's even closer.
Yeah. So I wanted to just touch base on a couple of little things about mediumship, and then we can move on to other things. But, I spent 2 weeks. 2 weeks ago, I spent a week in New Jersey with this really intensive mediumship mentorship kickoff with Joseph Scheel. He's a medium spirit artist. The man is incredible, and he's such a nice guy. And he is pastor of the the Journey Within Church, which is part of the Spiritualist Union in the United Kingdom. And it's right in New Jersey. Anyway, we had this kickoff, and it's really about the real deal. It's not about the showmanship. It's not about all of that stuff. It's about really delivering good messages. And here's the thing that I think it's important to talk about with anyone who is looking for a reading, who is seeking out a medium. You are as responsible for this reading as the medium. And people say, well, what do you mean? What do you mean? I'm just paying the bill, right? We can't reach through the veil and pull somebody back. I always say
they have to be willing to.
They have to be willing. I can answer the call, but I can't make the call. All I can do is pick up the phone.
I like that analogy.
Yeah. I always tell people that the personality of the person who's crossed over is really, it's going to be consistent. So how they were in life is how they're going to be after they've crossed.
Amen.
But you are also important because it's a three-way conversation, right? Without you, they're not going to talk to me. They don't know me. I'm only the telephone. That's all it is. I'm the go-between. They make the call and you answer, and it just goes right through me. When you have a reading, if you have a headache, if I have a headache, if you had a disagreement with someone, or if I'm in a bad mood, or if I'm tired, or if you didn't sleep last night, all of these things can make a difference. The vibration needs to be up here for this to happen.
Yeah.
So I've had people that sit there at the reading, and I have to say to them, I need to hear your voice. I need you to say yes, no, whatever.
Mhm.
Answer me. Because when you just sit there and go,
Yeah. Just,
it's like if you've been to see a comedy show, and it could be the best comedian in the world, right? But when he's talking on stage and people just sit there and there's no reaction, the energy in the room tanks. It's the same thing with mediumship. So if you're not into it, if you're tired, you're just as responsible for that, because that's going to affect the reading. And I'm not saying you're doing anything wrong, but
yeah.
it's important to kind of have this interaction to kind of keep the elevation up and the energy up, so that's what spirit feeds on. And we can't do it alone as mediums. It's not magic. You know what I mean? We're not warlocks, we're not wizards. I mean, you're a witch and I'm a bitch. Other than that,
And
but
that's why we get
seriously,
along so good.
yeah, that's why we get along so good. But I think that it doesn't really work that way. It doesn't work that we can say, don't worry about it. You just sit there and I'm going to do my magic act. It's not like
Yeah.
that. It's not a magician. It's really talking to spirit, and it's that energy that goes back and forth. So you have to be an active participant in it. And the reason I say that is this has happened to me a couple of times recently, where I've had to tell people, I really need you to talk. I really need you to say something. I need to hear your voice, because that's going to, if you imagine the voice like a ping pong ball, it goes back and forth, then back and forth, and then the energy
Right.
starts to build and build and build.
Well,
And
that's a
without that,
conversation.
it's a conversation.
Communication. Yeah.
It's a conversation. It's a conversation. So I think it's important for people to understand what's really happening when we do a mediumship reading. It's subtle.
When someone contacts you and requests a reading with you,
Yep.
do you pick up anything at that point? Do you
It's
ever get
no, it's
precursor
funny.
messages?
No, I was talking to a woman the other night on the phone, and I did end up reading her the next day. I had a spot I could stick her in, which was a whole other weird thing to begin with. She called me and said, "Hey, I'm in the area. I'm visiting. I was hoping I could get a reading in person." And I thought, oh man, I can squeeze in a 30-minute session. I mean, that's all I had in between. I really didn't even have an hour. Come to find out, she wasn't here. She was in Sedona, Arizona. And she Googled me in Sedona and found me somewhere online, because people find me all over the place. So we ended up doing a Zoom session, and then I found out she actually lives, maybe 40 minutes from me. So she's coming back this way, and I said we can do it in person later. But she had left here, went there, and thought I was there. I don't know. But she asked me that question. She said, are you picking up anything around me? Is there anything that I said, oh my God, no. I said, it doesn't work that way. I have to still myself and quiet myself. And admittedly, if I've been reading all day, or if I'm, whatever, this kind of stuff, I'm preparing for shows, I'm exhausted by the end of the day.
It drains your energy.
It drains my energy, But
my husband used to not understand that I could come home tired when I had literally sat on my butt all day. And, he'd been climbing in and out of the truck and had a couple of house calls, fires. I mean, it just craziness, physical exhaustion. But that mental exhaustion, it's very different, but it's draining.
It's the energy work. It's the energy work. And I've been sitting on my butt all day doing readings. And, we had a live show, a little bit ago with Robert Neil Marshall about the show we're doing. So there's nothing exerting about this, but energy wise, it can really, really drain you. And so it's important for mediums to know their limits. Number one, right? If you can't do 3 readings in a day, don't do 3 readings in a day. I mean, it's that simple. But, when you have people that come in with expectations, and 99% of the readings go beautifully, but then sometimes there's something that just goes awry, and it could be the medium. It could be the medium. It does, and headaches happen. And, they sit there and they think that it's like a show, And it's not. It's a conversation. And I think that's the piece that people miss. You know, people will say to me, oh, you know, you talk to the dead. I really don't. I talk to the living. I talk to the living. They're all alive. They're all up there, but they just don't have mouths and lips. And, you know, they have to, they send me their information differently.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I get it telepathically. I get thoughts. I get tastes. I get smells. I get emotions. I mean, there's all these different senses that kind of kick in. And, you know, I always say it's like a cluster bomb, right? You might get a little like 5 millimeter piece of something, like whether it's an image of someone or whatever. And that whole thing is like impacted with emotion and thoughts. And it's the weirdest thing. But they're not going to come talk to me if you're off or if I'm off. They're just, they can't. It's not that they're not taking a stand. They just can't. They rely on that energy has to be way up here. We have to meet them. They have to kind of come down and we come up energy wise. And that's where we meet.
Oh, I like that, the way you described that. And see, with the work I do with energy healings, and say if I have a client come to me and I do, and like I said, it's a combination of Reiki with just energy when I'm scanning. But the same kind of thing applies. If they're closed down, if I ask them a direct question and they just, or they don't give me any kind of feedback, I'm going with what I'm picking up and I'm being directed, but it is a conversation. So when they just lay there and there's nothing, it makes my job a lot harder.
Yeah. Yeah. And I can. Do you think that when you do Reiki work, like if you do 3 or 4 in a day, that it becomes less like that's how mediumship is, right? So if I can't do 4 readings in a row. I mean, I might be able to do 2 or in the morning and, you know, a few in the evening or something, but I can't do one after another after another. Do you find that sucks the energy out the same way?
Definitely. And now that it's there's a difference with me when, say, if it's like a convention and it's mini sessions. Yeah. I know this sounds weird, and you know, I've told you I've been tested. I'm not crazy, but I kind of feed off of the crowd energy, and because everybody's excited to be there, and there's just all of this hubbub, and it's electric, and that kind of thing ramps me up. So the mini sessions that I do at conventions, yes, I'm still exhausted by the end of the day, but it's like I've had a little extra backup battery feeding me, and that makes it different. But when I'm working just at home, I try to limit to 2, to be honest, because it is so physically draining.
And, you know, in my little studio where I do this, so I sit right here and I do my readings when I'm doing by Zoom. And then in the other room, I sit. It doesn't have the same energy as when we were in Indiana together at the Bell Mansion. That place was hopping. And honest to God, the readings were incredible because the building had its own energy that just kind of
amplifies things.
It amplified it, you know? And so that also makes a difference. So if you come in and you're like, okay, who's here?
What do you got?
What do you got? You know? Maybe not so much. And so, you know, this is not to berate anybody because people don't know. And that's really why I want to talk about this. I want people to understand that energy work is tough. I mean, it really is so subtle. And it's not like you can practice a magic trick over and over and over. I got it perfect now. I'm going to go and do it. And you can do it over and over and over again. Everybody that walks in the door is different. They have different loved ones. They have different energies. Yeah. If they were private and they weren't going to tell anybody anything about their life, guess what? That's how it's going to be.
It's not going to change.
It's not going to change. You know, I always say Italians give the best readings because they don't stop talking. Yeah, that's true. They just get out there. You know, I mean, that's a generalization, but really and truly.
No, there's some truth to that. I have a girlfriend that's Sicilian. You're right.
I don't know what I would do if I were Italian and died and didn't have my hands anymore. I don't know how they handle it when they try to communicate, I don't know how that works. But
I struggle with that. I have to sit on my hands. Otherwise they're all over the place all the time.
You're not Italian. Are you Italian? You're not Italian, are you?
No, actually, we used to joke and say that my girlfriend and I, that we had to be related, just the craziness in the family, that everything. And no, I've got more Irish DNA than anything, which that makes sense too.
Because you're a drunk? No, I don't know. I don't know.
Only on Tuesdays.
Only on Tuesdays. Hey, we have a question. Nancy wants to know, what kind of Reiki did you do? I know there's different types.
Okay, so I'm terrible with pronouncing this.
Oh yeah, that one.
The USUI. I'll let you say.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't even know how to say it. It's like Usui or something like that.
Usui, I think. I'm terrible with it, but that's the form that I trained under and that I use. But once again, it's just a piece of what I do. I did find it very, very beneficial, which with each attunement that I received as I was studying. When I worked with someone, I could pick up even more. Each time it got better, it got clearer. It's like somebody turned the volume up and turned the lights on.
Yeah. That's all I need is a little more attunement to kind of get myself going. It was scary as hell when it happened, and I didn't have any attunements. But I would think she does holy fire. Holy fire Reiki is what she does. Yeah.
Nancy, I'm not real sure the differences. I actually need to look into that and see what the differences are.
Yeah, I don't know, actually. And I think when I did Reiki 1, she says it's pronounced Usui. Usui. So, that's the one that I did when I studied. I never went on to 2 and 3 because I wasn't sure. And I'm going to be honest, it was during COVID and it was all done remotely, and I'm not a big fan of it. So I
might upset a few people, but
yeah.
I don't believe that you can truly receive an attunement online. I had someone try one time and I was like, this is not going to work. You're not the person, because I need to be connected. Because when I've had an attunement in person, and your eyes are closed and you're very solemn and sitting, so you don't see everything that's going on, but brother, do you feel it?
You do,
and it makes a big difference. It's,
wow.
I wanted to learn distance Reiki. I know some people are really fabulous at it, and I do send, but it's not where my strength lies. My strength lies when I've got someone right in front of me. That's where I'm the best. Right.
I never pursued it. I kind of think about maybe I should go back at some point, but I honestly don't know where I'm going to fit it in. Really, and that's the truth. I feel like I'm just, this is
busy calendar.
What's that?
You've got a really busy calendar lately.
I have so much going on. Nothing's going to happen. And I was just asked today if I would do another gallery with someone in Kansas City. It would be like a remote gallery. You know what I mean? Like a remote gallery. So we're talking about that. We haven't booked anything. We're going to talk after the first of the year. And I'm doing a Valentine's show now that we haven't set a location or anything yet, but I'm working with another medium, a different one that I've been working with. So I've got all these people coming together, and we're going to be doing some of these shows, and I love that. But I need to retire from my regular full-time job so I can do this. I mean, and that's how it feels, Yeah.
It's crazy. That wouldn't be such a bad thing, would it?
Well, it would be for my creditors
and your checkbook,
lenders, and all this other stuff. I think they prefer that I work as often as possible, but that's kind of how that works. But yeah, I mean, my goal is to be able to keep doing this. I love doing what I do. I love, and I'm starting to really love doing not multiple groups, but groups of multiple people, it was funny because I was in Boston last week. I did it was a networking event for a group of people that worked at this business. And I don't know how many were there, 20, 25 people, something like that. But we had such a good time. And the readings were really meaningful. I mean, there were tears, there were laughs. I mean, it was just, and I think that's just kind of where my heart is now. I like doing the one-on-ones, but I love doing these groups of people. And so, I got a bunch of stuff booked out, which is really good.
I always say when you find that niche and what brings you joy and makes you happy, you need to do more of that.
I agree.
So definitely do more of that.
No, I agree. And so that's what I'm doing. And, I'm going to be reading in Maine in 2 weeks at a convention there, the Parafest Maine, which I'm really excited about. I wish you could join us for that. It's such a nice little Paracon. Not that little, but it's really nice. And then I'm going to be coming to join you we're going to have to buy some boots for San Antonio.
Yeah, Texas. I am so excited about that.
All my exes live in Texas. Yeah.
You're here all week, right, Scott?
How's it go?
The Lone Star Paracon.
The Lone Star Paracon. Yep.
Lone Star Paracon. And the Kling Brothers put that on. Everyday Paranormal. We're vending at the convention. And, we, Solstice Sisters.
Mm-hmm.
And then we've got a little thing going on Sunday. So everybody that's in town and still want to hang around, we're going to be at Beauregard Mansion, which is on the historic battlegrounds area, real near the Alamo, which I'm excited to experience.
Mm-hmm.
But it's going to be from 11 to 2. We're doing a brunch and a meet and greet, and the Kling Brothers are coming. They're super cool to hang out with. And then afterwards, the Solstice Sisters are going to be doing our healings. And so Dana's going to be doing readings. I'll be doing scannings and herbal consults. Kathy will be doing Reiki and shaman work. And we'll be doing some of which I'll just drop it. We'll talk about it later when everybody comes on. Our special healing that we do all together, we call it the Triple Goddess.
Yeah, that's so
we all work on the same person. It's so cool to connect our energies and just connecting with them. It amplifies everything that I feel and experience. So I personally would love to be the person on the table to see what that's like.
Happy to be a guinea pig. Yeah. Are you doing an investigation or no investigation? It's going to be the brunch and then the vending stuff, or?
Yeah, it'll be brunch and then the healing sessions afterwards. We're not doing an investigation, but people are going to be free to walk around and check everything out. And like I said, the Kling Brothers are going to do a little walkthrough, and it's a very active building from what I understand. It is currently an Airbnb that they've actually had people get up and leave in the night because of the activity. So we're going to spend some nights there.
What's that?
We're going to spend a couple nights there, so we'll see what we pick up and experience.
That should be really a good time. I feel like
it's going to be a whole lot of fun.
There was something I was going to ask you about that. Now it's gone because, I have a brain like a colander. It comes and goes. What the heck was it? Something about it. Something about
it's going to be. We're going to feature my teas at the brunch, so I'm kind of excited and stoked about that.
Kind of nice, and I love your teas. BlackRavenTrading.com.
Black Raven Trading. Mm-hmm.
BlackRavenTrading.com. I love your teas, by the way. They're really great.
I think I'm working on a few special blends that I may do just for that event.
That'd be nice.
I like to customize.
How do you know, like, what goes with what and how it will?
Years of doing it. Lots of knowledge and just experience. I don't mix my herbs that are for magical workings with those that I blend, because
Okay.
not everything is meant to be ingested. I don't ever
Okay.
want to accidentally have the wrong jar or anything along those lines. So I make sure that everything, especially when I'm doing these, and I take herbs because I do the custom blending for people there.
Sure.
And it's like,
Kind of
the
on the
top
spot.
most needed herbs is what I usually travel with. And then occasionally Spirit will just tell me I need to grab a jar of this or I need to grab a jar of that. And it's like, oh, okay. Throw it in. There's always that one person that needs it.
Yep.
But I
You
use
know,
the herbs and the oils.
all of that together. Yeah, I feel like, I mean, because I feel like you're really good at that, and the teas are great, and I've tried them; they're fantastic. What is the magical side of it? Like, what? Because I see you as a lot of like healing and a lot of that kind of thing, but what is the magical side?
Well, part of it's when I blend. I mean, I have to have the right energy in the house. The weather has to be right for me. I've got to be the right state of mind, the right state of my heart. I have a playlist of music that I keep going, and it's blasting as I'm working.
Wow.
And it's just fun. If the scene from Practical Magic, Midnight Margaritas, dancing around, I do all of that in the kitchen, and that positive energy that I feel, and the love and the excitement and the enthusiasm for what I'm doing, I infuse all of my workings with that energy. I
Mm-hmm.
I call upon the angels. I call upon God. I put that love into it. That's my secret ingredient. Love.
Yeah,
Makes
and
for great potato salad
really
too.
good point too, because a lot of people think, "Ooh, witchcraft." Oh, it's not
It,
like that.
it's
It doesn't
not.
have
It,
like
it's
that.
n- it's not dark and heavy. Can it be? Yeah. Can your local church be dark and heavy? Yeah. It's what you make of it. And you
Yeah.
have to remember that. The the witchcraft that I practice, I'm connected to the earth. I'm connected to the energies, the elements around me, and I love it and I want to protect it. But I also know that it's been gifted to us to use.
Right.
And each plant and all of the elements are infused with their own properties, spiritual and physical. And I use all of them together. I can't think of a better use.
Well, I think it's great, because you mentioned God, and I know we're not, uh, is this right? I'm just putting that right across the bottom. Let me just hide this for a second. I want to
You're
make.
saying that to the blind lady.
Oh, that's true. Okay, I just want to make sure I get the. Oh, jeez. I want to make sure it rolls across the bottom of the screen. BlackRavenTrading.com.
Trading.com. Yeah.
Somebody asked if we could put your website on the box, so I want to make sure we have that on the
Oh,
bottom
okay.
in case you
Yeah,
want to
thank
read.
you. I'm
Yeah.
actually updating the website this weekend. I've got a couple of things that are going to be new going live.
Nice. If Nancy orders anything from you, she needs a little extra boost, just a little something in there.
I
She's
got you.
kind of, yeah.
I, you know,
There.
I do the
Here's a question.
consults for people as well, but I think I've told you, and you've experienced it. Okay, I can't see. What's the question?
Oh,
What's
what
difference
is the difference between a green witch and a
witch
white
and a
witch?
white witch? It's a good question. Um, a green witch is going to primarily work with herbs, spices, think growing things. A
Mm-hmm.
white witch is going to be working with energy primarily. Now, does that mean they can't use tools? No. And I think more of us practice a true eclectic style than anything, but we have leanings one way or the other. And a white witch can be a green witch. A green witch can practice white magic, which that's what I do. I only practice now. I'm not a live, love, laugh, wink, wink, Dana.
Yeah.
That's a private joke with us. But I do only work with light energy. I'm a light worker.
Yeah. Yeah.
I hope that answers your question, Nancy.
It says, so the Green Witch seems more earthy.
Yeah, exactly. We're more hippie. We're the ones that are going to take our shoes off and, want to run through the field. And I mean, I literally go barefoot all the time. I like to walk in the snow, even barefoot. Now, I can't do it for very long, of course, but I like to connect to that.
Yeah.
I like to feel the energy of it.
Is there anything that happens when a green witch or a white witch eat a sandwich? Sorry.
I'm
I
going
gotta
to
kill
smack
time
you
here. We have
before the end of this
49
day, Scott.
Yes. And this is
I'm
when
just going to
Scott.
hop on my broom and come smack you.
Yeah, right. It's like, oh Lord. Oh my gosh. Yeah, but I think it's fascinating. And I think, I love that. And you're not churchy. I'm not real churchy either. I'm not. But we certainly have these beliefs, and I feel like that's a part of what you do is this, this it's all about goodness. It's all about good. You know what I mean? It's all about the good of all. And so for those of the people who think witch bad, ooh, that's it. It's really not. It's really not.
It's not. And I respect everyone's right to believe what they believe. And I'm sorry, I've got a love visitor.
Is that your black cat? There it is.
How appropriate. How appropriate. This is Binks, everybody.
Getting a hey guys from Christopher Brown. Christopher Brown is a medium from Maine. I'm going to see him at Parafest, but he is the medium that's working with me at the Salem Paracon when we do the gallery event at Salem State University. So good to see you, Chris. Looking forward to working with you and seeing you soon. So Chris Brown, everybody.
That's something that you do, Scott, that I actually really love about you. You like to work with other mediums. It's not a competition for you. And
God, no.
you like to promote their work as well. It's just a quality about you that I admire.
I'm not jealous of any of this. I feel like there's no reason to be jealous. I really like Chris. We are so totally opposite, polar opposite in terms of the way that we approach things. And I just love how, the energy is just great when we're together. He's just such a fun guy. Dana and I just love Dana, and we're so different, when we're reading together, but I love the way it works together. There's no, I'll tell you an interesting story. When I was in New Jersey a couple of weeks ago, and I was in the class with Joe Shield, we had an exercise where they paired us up into 3 people, right? One person got the reading, one person started the reading, and the second one tuned in and tapped into the spirit, and we were giving a joint reading between the 2 of us to the one person. Now, how cool is that? And I had never done that before, and I thought, well, how the heck am I going to do this? I don't even know how to do that. But when the intention is there, because it's all intention, right? The intention was there that this was going to happen, and boom, it happened. And this guy, I can't think of his name, but the other medium and I were back and forth together reading this woman. And it was like, he'd give something, I'd give something. And she was like, oh yeah, yep. I mean, it was like, oh my God, this is amazing. It's still really, amazing.
I am still blown away by watching galleries. Mad respect for anybody that can do it. I don't understand how y'all have that ability. I just like to watch it, especially when it gets rapid fire. It's insane.
I don't understand
it's really cool to experience.
That's why, we talk about that thing called, what do you call it? You're always saying like when you don't feel like it's real. What is the name of that?
Imposter syndrome.
Imposter syndrome. Yeah. That's a real thing, because sometimes it's so hard to believe that you can't believe you're doing it. And it's like, there has to be some other explanation. Like, how is this happening? How am I rattling off all these things? And she's like, oh yeah, I totally get it. Everything you just said, I totally get it. Like, really? I mean, you get used to that after a while,
But the imposter syndrome sets in. I think any of us because I even deal with that, Scott, and I'm not doing any kind of mediumship work.
Right.
But
How does it manifest for you?
when, especially if someone is presenting to me and they have all these multiple issues, and I get super overwhelmed. I'm like, what am I doing? I've got no business doing this. I just need to make some teas and just go on with life. And but then when they
Yeah.
come back to me, well, personal favorite is when they just break down and start crying on the table, and they have these emotional releases, and I love that. That's part of the healing. And the things that I'll pick up on, and they may not communicate with me on the table. They wait until at the end and then tell me, or they'll tell me later on, the blend that you made for me, keep that recipe on file. It did the trick. And they come back again and again and again. And that makes me feel so good. It's that the validation that you actually did help somebody. But
Listen, I'm going to
yeah,
tell
I
you.
get freaked
I'm sorry, I
out.
didn't mean to interrupt you. Yeah, I just wanted to validate that, because I had this. I don't know what it was. It was like cough. I couldn't stop coughing. I had chest X-rays. Excuse me, everything's clear. I did COVID test after COVID test after COVID test. It was nothing. And finally, is that when we were? It must have been when we were in Indiana. And I said, I think it was. Yeah, it was Indiana. Or I actually don't know where it was, to be honest with you. It was one of the places I saw you, but it doesn't matter.
Ohio.
It could have been Ohio. And I was like, I can't stand this. Like, I don't know what it is. I've tried antibiotics and Z-Packs, and I mean, just nothing would go away. I took home a couple of your teas and a tincture, 2 tinctures, I think. 2 tinctures.
Echinacea and the respiratory therapy, or the respiratory one.
Long after that, it was gone. And especially the mint tea was my favorite. I mean, I love the flavor of the orange, but the mint tea was so relaxing at night. I think it just kind of lulls you into this sense of.
And that's it. That's the blended purpose of that, is a relaxation. But I can take those base notes and then add to. It's like correct me if I'm wrong. I believe I added mullein to your blend.
Maybe.
Which that helps clear the lungs. I believe it or not, smoking it is the most effective way. That's old school. That's how my great grandmother did it. You rolled it up and they smoked it, and it would clear up that cough. But I'm so glad that it worked for you.
It did. And, so honestly, when it comes to this stuff, I mean, if anybody's looking, don't be bashful. It's not, old wives stuff. I mean, this stuff is, it really works. I mean, it's good stuff, and it tastes good too. I mean, really, it was delicious. Absolutely delicious. I love the orange spice.
Thank you.
Both
I've
really,
got a
really
goodie
good.
box putting together. I just haven't gotten it out to you yet.
Well, I'll be seeing you in January. Don't rush. No, I'll be seeing you. I don't think I'm going to see you before then, though. I don't think we've got anything planned before then, but we'll see you in January.
Okay, we've got a lot of stuff going on in the works, though. It's going to be fun.
We do. And we may even be, and no details, because I don't really have a lot of details, but we're talking about doing a live investigation together on the show. I talked with our producer at KGRA, and he said, let me know. Keep me informed. Let me know the date. Lawrence Milano was on our show last year, and he is, he's got the channel Mondo Docs, Mondo Docs. I don't even know what that stands for. I don't remember. But that's his thing, is he does these investigations and films, and we're going to do a live with him and his team, and it's going to be broadcast right here on KGRA, and kind of excited about that.
So much fun. People ask about how Apollo works. That'll be cool. They'll actually get to see it.
Yeah, because they'll get to watch him, protect. It's so funny to see how he just stops, and then it's like he senses it. I'm not going in there,
He does. Well, yeah, because we've investigated together. So you've gotten to see how it is. I do like your style, your investigation style. And you're so even keeled. You don't get crazy up. You don't get down. You're just so smooth going the whole time.
Well, I'm not saying I don't get creeped out. I mean, that was a creepy place we were in, the asylum. What was the name of it?
Randolph
Randolph
County
County. Randolph
Infirmary.
County. Yeah, it's a creepy place. I mean, there's no question about it. Especially that basement is kind of like wild, and the attic is kind of creepy too, to be honest
Yeah.
with you. Too. But we, I'm okay when I'm with other people, and I it just keeps everything kind of even for me. I don't hype things up because I feel things, you know what I mean? So if I'm not really feeling tons of crazy stuff, I don't get worked up over it really. I just enjoy it. I just enjoy seeing what's out there, and it's validation for what I do. Yeah, like I talk to them, but here they are on a recorder. I mean, holy Christmas,
As an investigator, I know you get questions, and as a medium, even more so. I've had people that have known me for years and years and years, and known me in my daytime life, if you so to speak, and then they
when
find
you're
out
not
about all
wearing a
this,
black
and
hat and carrying a broom, you mean your daily life?
well, I came out of the broom closet. A lot of people were surprised, but
I know. You tried to drive the vacuum cleaner, but the plug kept pulling out of the wall. And it's
but they start asking questions, and they'll say, "Do you really believe in this stuff?" And
yeah,
oh yeah, I've had way too many experiences, personal, public, private, to say it's not real. Do I understand it all? Not even a little bit. I don't pretend to. But you have to keep an open mind going into this field. And
it's a lot we don't get. I mean, there's a lot.
what's your take on the words paranormal expert?
Yeah, I never really thought about it, but my first gut feeling is who is? I mean, that's my feeling is, there are people who are maybe more knowledgeable in the terminology and the equipment and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
But none of us know. I mean, we do this. I do mediumship and I don't know. People say, well, where are they? I have no idea because they don't show me that. I don't know how I do what I do. And I think we all have our own journey to take. So it's, we'll find out when we get there ourselves. But same thing with the paranormal stuff. I don't know why they come through the way. I have theories on some things, but none of it's fact.
No, and it's the actual name, paranormal investigator. I mean, it's research, constantly researching. I personally like old school techniques. Do you remember powder traps?
What is it?
Powder traps? Well, you
no,
could use flour or baby powder.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I haven't used it. I've never done that.
Yeah, it's seeing handprints or footprints just appear out of nowhere and stuff like that. I still get a tingle and a thrill. And yes, I am of the school that, you got an intelligent response. You got the knocking in response to what you asked them to do. I get excited, and then what do? Can you do it again? Do it again. Validate it, prove it. And when you get that communication going, it's amazing. There's not a feeling like it in the world.
There really isn't. And you get it and you want just a little bit. Okay, we got you to tell us something, but that's not enough. Tell us some more. Tell us some more. What else can you share with us? It's like the EVPs and it's but how does it happen? And when I was at Madison Seminary and we got that, it felt really like a tape. I was listening to, we have it. I'll play it for you sometime. You can hear people in the background chatting as if they're in the asylum and somebody saying, okay, Fred, go make your bed. All right. And I got lots of mouths to feed here. It's like you're talking. I mean, and they're just talking as if they're just existing like we're existing, but they're not there. Now, how does that energy just keep going round and around? I don't know. I don't feel like they were interacting with us. I don't feel like it was intelligent in that way. But man, it's like it's unbelievable. I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it. It's just unbelievable how that happens. And then sometimes it's intelligent. Madison Seminary. I mean, you and I have got to go there, and that would be a place I'd love to go and do a live stream. Holy Christmas, it's unbelievable. We were in this room. There's a dining room, and we asked, "Spirit, are you a?" So it was back from the Civil War time. It was, "Are you a Confederate or a Union soldier?" And the voice came back and said, "A Confederate." Now, come on, you know what I mean? That's not an accident, you know.
No.
A question. It's like, wow.
I get so excited when you get that kind of communication going. And it's not just, yes, no. I like dowsing rods, and I get good connections and responses to dowsing rods. But I like it when spirit box is going off and it's validating what I'm picking up on dowsing rods, and a medium may be picking up, Apollo's hitting. It's all that cross validation that I absolutely love.
I think you and I should do a show together, because I love this chat back and forth, this banter. You know, it's nice when we have guests, but it's also nice when we can just sit and talk, because I don't know how to shut up. And people would probably say that.
That's why we're always on the phone for an hour.
We're always on the phone. Don't hate me. But, I would love to do a show on evidence where we bring evidence on, whether it's audio or visual or whatever, because we've got photos, we've got all kinds of things. I think that'd be a fun show.
I've got some cool pieces.
I think that would be really fun to do. And we can put it right up on the screen. I think it'd be great.
Oh, yeah.
I think it'd be a lot of fun.
Some really cool video and audio as well. Some that was even caught on a Facebook Live, and there may have been 20 people in the room. So the whole internet got to see it happen. That's just awesome.
And isn't it funny too how I've had it where I'm recording, trying to get an EVP as an example or I've got a spirit box going and I'm recording the spirit box. Then I have a video camera and I'm recording the session, and it only picks up on the video camera. It didn't pick up on the audio recorder. How is that?
Once again, research. We don't understand. We don't know. I have my own theories and beliefs. I believe it's all energy, and that's how they're able to manipulate energetic devices. But once again, it's just a theory. So,
how do you feel about mediumship on a paranormal investigation?
I think it's actually vital. Every team I've been involved with, except one many years ago, had a medium on the team. And does it make the big public ones like a Randolph County or something like that more fun and interesting? Of course it does. On residential cases, it can be so vital. Not only do they have the ability to communicate and find out if that is Uncle Joe.
Yeah.
But they're going to pick up, usually, it's been my experience, they're going to pick up things that are going on with the family or the residents of the home as well, that a lot of times can explain either a piece of it or help us understand, or even help point us in the right direction down how to help this family. So
yeah,
I think it's a valuable tool.
I think some people feel that way, and other people feel as though it has no place. And, that's just an opinion. It's funny because, I did an event last fall with Jason Hawes, and heck of a nice guy, and, his kids. Yeah, he's great. He's great. But we were standing there together, and I was at breakfast downstairs, and we were staying in the same hotel, and he came down and we got talking, and he says, I really don't buy the whole mediumship thing. I'm like, well, okay then, that's great. Good luck to you. But that's the mindset, and no harm, no foul. I think it's great. That's just his thing. He's very factual in terms of what he gets. Totally get it. There's a lot of people out there like that.
That's the school of thought and the theory that I had beginning this way, 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 way back, I always go in immediately looking for every possible way to debunk what's
Right.
going on.
Right.
But the introduction of investigating with a medium was just a game changer,
Yeah.
complete game changer. It's like you've been driving a Pinto, and it may be great for those of you who know what a Pinto is. And then suddenly you get the keys to a Ferrari. Wow, things are
Wow.
completely different straight out of the gate, and you're
Yeah.
going to get there a whole lot faster too.
All right. So I just have to say, we are just about at the end of our time. Can you believe this?
Oh my gosh!
We just do that time. So I want to say a couple of things because I'm loving talking with you, and I'm going to tell you to hang on afterwards so we can continue our conversation. But I am going to be on Andrea Perron's show, A World Awakening, Friday night at 10 p.m. for whoever is looking for a good time. I'm going to be there with my friend, Robert Neil Marshall. We just did a live together. Robert and I are going to be on stage. It is not a gallery. It is a piece of theater all about near-death experiences, past lives, the opening to mediumship, ghosts, you name it. But it's all live on stage, and it's an interactive play with the audience. We break that fourth wall and talk. So we're going on Andrea's show, and we're going to be talking about that Friday night. That's right here on KGRA. And wherever you stream this, you'll probably be able to find it on there as well. So look out for that Friday night at 10 p.m. Also, it's Providence of the Heart is the name of the show, and that is going to be November 2nd at 7 p.m. at the Alley Theater in Middleborough. Robert Neil Marshall is a playwright. He's written shows that have opened in London and Broadway. He's been on House of Cards. The guy's the real deal, and he's not some local yokel. He's the fact that he's working with me is like, you've got to be kidding me. I feel like slap myself to see if it's real. But I think that's going to be a really great show. And is there anything you want to share that's coming up? Next week, we're going to get the Booth brothers. I don't know if they're all going to be here. Christopher Booth.
I've been doing research. That's what it's called, watching their movies, right? Yeah, I'm doing research. I have been rewatching even some of them. I'm super excited that they're coming on the show. And then, of course, I mentioned Solstice Sisters are going to be at the Lone Star Paracon in Texas in January.
I don't know. They're coming on. They're coming on soon, like the end of October, November, something like that. Solstice Sisters.
We'll get the dates back out there.
We'll be talking all about that thing that you guys do, the Triple Goddess.
Goddess.
And I got to tell you, when we're in Texas together, I want to take you out to a bar.
Oh my God.
Because I want to see what happens when you bring a medium, a witch, and a healer walk into a bar. I want to see what happens when you do that. Yeah, and that's what you are. A medium, a witch, and a healer. And it's like three of the best people I know. I just love you guys. Honestly.
It's going to be Scott.
It's going to be such a great time. I can't wait.
That is going to be a lot of fun.
I've never been to San Antonio, so when you said it, I was like, well, yeah. Yeah, I got rid of my cowboy boots, so I'll have to get another pair when I get out there.
New shoes and, of course, a hat. I mean, you can't go to Texas without a hat.
I'm going to get my painted jeans, 10-gallon hat, and a pair of cowboy boots, and I'll be all set. There you go. So I just want to thank everyone for tuning in and being here with us today. We've had a nice little group, and just so happy to be part of this and happy to have you here. It is such a joy to do this show with you. And we will be back next week with the Booth brothers. They are the masters of just horror. As we said, grim fairy tales scared everybody else. They scare all of us. Thank you for being here tonight. We'll see you next week right here on the Paranormal Project. Good night, everybody. Thanks, Christina.
Bye.
You've been listening to the Paranormal Project Radio Show with Scott Allan and Khristina Bowen. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss the next episode. While you're there, leave us a rating and review. We'll be back next week with more exciting guests. Now go out there and explore the paranormal.